Welcome, everyone, to episode 42 of Bustin' Out. My name is Chris Parrish, alongside with my Brunch Buster there, Bobby Munson. We are joined here by one of the founders, if not the main founder, one of my good friends, one of the most important influences in my wrestling career. Actually, right down below, short, Sleeve Sampson. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Man, that was a hell of an intro. I mean, it's like seeing the countdown coming on and everything. And then you guys come on. No, I'm joking. No, you guys are awesome. No, thanks for having me on and stuff. I mean, I appreciate it. I know, Chris, you and I have gone way, way back. And, I know we have a personal relationship and a professional relationship and everything, which I definitely appreciate and cherish. And Bobby, as we were talking off air, I know that, we met 6-7 years ago and stuff at HIW. and all. And I'm excited to see that you're still doing things, today. And, now you got a podcast and all. So, kudos off to you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here today. And definitely want to give you guys the opportunity to talk a little bit about that storied history between the two of you and talk about your career as well. I'm very excited to listen and absorb more here this morning.
So you're gonna be in the background, silent and everything.
That's right. Yeah, I'm here to learn from the greats.
It's all good.
So I'll just mute myself and you can speak.
Yeah.
All right. How you doing today? Everything going good?
Obviously, just get these out of the way. As you see on the ticker below, that is our socials. We added our Kick, so if you want to go and give that a follow and a subscribe, that'd be great. If you're watching on YouTube, you want to make sure you give us that thumbs up and hit that notification bell, just to let you have that reminder to every time you see us on the screen, you're aware, you're prepared, because that's what it's all about. And then also just a shout out to our affiliate over at rogueenergy.com. If you want to use our promo code OLEPods, you can save 10% off that order, which is amazing. Yes, they ship it through Canada and the US. And if you are in the US, they have their great flavors in cans. They don't have that in Canada. Cans are not in Canada. But hopefully,
why don't they have cans in Canada?
I don't know. I think there's restrictions with shipping them over the border right now.
Yeah.
It's tough to make that happen. Not sure why.
The COVID time messed it up. I was able to, before COVID, see how much it would cost to get Stone Cold's beer over. Now I can't do that. So
COVID definitely messed up a lot of stuff.
They did.
Yes.
But I know we have a lot of people. We have some people in the chat right now. Some people may know you. Some people may not know you. So I think one of the best questions to start off is, what got you into professional wrestling? Who inspired you? And how has you said 24 years, I believe, Austin, how has that shaped and taught who you are as a human being?
Wow. And I think we have 45 minutes. So I think that's over the time frame. No.
Jot note form.
No, first of all, I've definitely been in this business now for 24 years, and it's been a roller coaster ride. I mean, I've had ups, I've had downs and all, but ultimately it's definitely been, it's been an experience, it's been an adrenaline rush. It's been crazy. It's been insane, and all. But basically from my earliest childhood memories, I've always grew up watching professional wrestling. I can remember, going to the local venue in my earliest childhood memories every Saturday night and seeing live professional wrestling and all. And, at that time, seeing people like Chief Jay Strongbow and Ivan Putski and, the greats from that time and all. But when I got into professional wrestling, I actually got into it completely backwards because I got a phone call one night from a mutual friend. And basically the phone call was, did I ever think about wrestling professionally? And once we, aired out the different things and all, basically, I found myself a month later in wrestling, in an independent wrestling show, and doing a midget tag match with, and without any training, I basically was I was brought in and I was thrown in the ring. And, I survived the match. My opponents survived the match, which was great. And I thanked everybody. And, I told them, if you ever need somebody again, please let me know. And so I think a month or two went by. I got a phone call again and for the same promoter and did a second match. And then that was on a Saturday night. The following night, a Sunday night at 10:30 at night, I got a call from WWF asking me if I wanted to be involved in a segment on Monday Night Raw. And once I was able to realize that this was a legit call and not some spoof or spam or scam or anything like that, I was like, yeah. And the following night, I found myself at the beginning segment of Monday Night Raw with me and Tiny the Terrible, and we were, basically introduced as being The Rock's opponents at that year's WrestleMania. In the middle of the ring was Triple H, The Big Show, Shane, and Stephanie McMahon. So that was my intro into professional wrestling.
Jeez.
So, it was definitely, and then, from there, I found a great school where I got trained to actually be a professional wrestler. And, everything just took off from there.
That's awesome to hear. Now, I gotta kind of I don't want to peer on the bush here. What was your impression with WWE and the use of little people? And this is going to tie into one of the big questions I do want to ask you, and I've always wanted to ask you this. We nowadays kind of live in this bubble where we have to watch what we say. We have to watch how we say things. Things now have different meanings. Mm-hmm. You do run Midget Warrior Wrestling.
Midget Wrestling Warriors.
Yes, sorry, yeah. I'm trying to be so perfect. I messed up on my own question. But
don't. All right, here's the deal. I am not politically correct when it comes to
I know
what I do in this business. I am very proud of what I do and the accomplishments and the achievements I've been able to gain from it. So when you're talking with me, just talk.
Yeah, I just don't want to get kicked off YouTube. But
all right, so YouTube,
society, yeah. So society has told us what words we can and can't say, and we're always designed to say, "Hell, look, the term midget is always derogatory." But in wrestling, they use it's always used. Why is it okay in wrestling, and what is the real difference between the use of that phrase, and can you help educate the people who may be getting caught a little bit in between on what the right way to say it is and what's a respectful way?
Okay, so when it comes to professional wrestling or any sport in general, the word midget was basically used to describe someone that was, under 5 foot. If you were under 5 foot, you were considered or categorized to be a midget, a little person, a dwarf, whatever you want to call it. And then throughout, time and everything, then you had different categories. I'm actually not even a midget. I'm actually a dwarf. And it's different because of the fact that with dwarfs, we have an average torso from head to butt is average size, but my arms and legs are shorter. When you're talking about a midget, basically it's categorized that their whole body is shorter, and all. So that's pretty much the difference between that. But that's all it is. It's like I feel that there are people that, and God bless them for this, but people get butthurt really, really easy. They get offended really, really easy. And, I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm not here to offend anybody. I'm not here to, to do anything but what I do in professional wrestling. I run a wrestling promotion called the Midget Wrestling Warriors. And in doing that, basically what I'm saying is that the wrestlers that you will see in the ring wrestling on my show will be under 5'2". And I've had people sit there and message me afterwards and saying, well, you didn't have real midgets. Yes, I did. Because here's the deal. In the US and in Canada, it was considered if you were under 5 foot, you were a little person. Okay. In Mexico, I guess they go with 5'4". So I split the difference and I said 5'2". Now, we've had people that have, I've had bookers, I've had venue owners, I've had fair promoters that have pretty much looked eye to eye with some of my talent. Well, guess what? You are a little person as well. You may not consider yourself that. You may not be in professional wrestling, but you are a little person by stature. Does that mean that anything different than who you are? No, it doesn't. But in collaborating this whole thing together, basically all I'm saying is that if you are under 5'2" and you have a passion and you're trained in this business, well, I may put you on the show. Now the fans can expect when they come to my show to see midgets, dwarfs, little people, all wrestling. That's it. That's the only time that the word is used. It's not used in an offensive way. It's not used as, in any negative context whatsoever. It's just used to describe a product that I am bringing to the fans. That's it. And I feel that there are people out there, without naming any names or anything, that have been very outspoken of the word midget. And they basically want us to change our vocabulary, to change the way we say things, to change the way we talk. If someone sees me on the street and they know me, they're not going to say, "Hey, midget." They're going to sit there and say, "Hey, Sampson. Hey, Dan. Hey, short sleeve." Whatever word that they use. "Hey, bro. Hey, brother." That's what we're going to do because of the fact that that's how we talk with the people that we interact with. If a fan sees me, they're not going to sit there and say, the same thing. And if anything, you have other people, whether they're children or whether they're adults, and we're attracted to people who are different. Okay, if someone walks by us and is different, then our eyes automatically go to them, and people's eyes obviously automatically go to me. That's it. So it's not used or meant in an offensive way. It's just used to describe a product.
Well said. And that, everyone, don't be butthurt. All right?
Yeah. Totally.
Bobby, before I go to you, we do have a question in the chat from the voice Joshua Joseph. It says, "Hello, Sir Sampson. Who was or is your favorite to watch in the ring, and who is your personal favorite?" And then he also says, "Say it again, Sampson. That's why I hang with the hosts, because they are different with them floppy heads and all."
Josh with his Canadian references.
Yeah. he also was very shocked that I just also have maple syrup on me too. So I think he always
Now, do you do maple syrup shots? I mean, or...
So here's the thing. I got this in my stocking for Christmas last year, and you'll be able to see it or not because I do have a green screen on it. And there's like a plastic thing around the tap that I just can't get off. So it's just a giant rib I found that my mom, who bless her heart, but a 70-year-old lady, did not realize, oh yeah, this can be a pain in the ass. So it's not here for decoration. Until I open it, yeah, maybe I will.
I'll tell you, I think you should do a show at another time on trying to open that bottle.
That sounds great.
Maybe on Canada Day, I'll do a special shot of maple syrup for our people.
There you go.
Yeah. But back to the question.
I'll be honest. I think my all-time favorite wrestler to watch would be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Nice.
He's a phenomenal worker. And not just talking about wrestling moves, but how he sells the moves, how he basically portrays everything in and outside the ring, his promos, everything he does. He's absolutely phenomenal. And I remember very early on in the business, I had a chance to sit in a training seminar with him, and it was. Let me tell you, it was great. If you ever had a chance to sit in a training seminar, especially with Steamboat or whatever like that, definitely do it. But the one thing that he had said that stuck with me my entire career was when he was, learning the sport, when he was learning the business, and he was learning how to sell things and everything. The one thing that he did is that when it came to how to sell someone's punch that they would give you. He wouldn't watch wrestling. He would watch boxing, because boxers get physically punched, and he would watch the facial expressions, and he would see their body movements and their body postures and all, and how that registered. And he basically would emulate that in a ring. And I found that to be invaluable because of the fact that everything that we do in professional wrestling, inside and outside the ring, basically it emulates life, you know. And if we take the things that we do, whether they're done to us or we're doing them to someone else, and we emulate real life circumstances, then it makes us a better professional in this business.
I do have a question I wanted to ask. As a well-traveled professional wrestler, what are some of the top few cities that you have had the opportunity to work in, based on fan reaction and just in general being there, the experience?
You know what? And this is going to sound so generic and everything, but it's true. I've literally traveled all over, okay, and I've appreciated every experience I've ever had. All of the cities I've been to have actually been phenomenal, in all honesty. But I'll break it down in a minute, because of the fact that the fans appreciate what we do in this sport. They support what we do in this sport, you know. And so with that being said, I mean, yeah, some great places, you know, whether it's Vancouver with All Star Wrestling, or whether it's in Virginia, or whether it's you know, up in Oklahoma and Texas, or whether it's in California, or whether it's in Saskatchewan. You know, the fans are absolutely they are phenomenal. You know, seriously, they're phenomenal, and they're different everywhere you go. You know, I mean, it's like I've been at shows where you know, you're sitting there and you're giving 120%, and you got, you know, your blood and your sweat dripping down from your eyebrow and all, and you know, you're pretty much putting on the show of a lifetime, and at the very end they go, "Yay." Didn't say that they liked it any less. That's how they react. And then I've been at other shows where you're doing the same thing, and they're like, "Ah," you know, and they're on their edge of the seats and everything. I mean, heck, I just had a show Friday night, and we had a phenomenal match between myself and my opponent, Christopher Isaac, and all, and a referee as well. Phenomenal. And at the very end of the show, or at the end of our match, we had fans standing up in the entire venue and everything, cheering and clapping and supporting everything that we did. So in all honesty, I don't really have a favorite place, because the fact that if I had that, I feel that I would do an injustice to people that I don't name. And I feel that everyone should be named, because of the fact that it's the fans that support what we do. It's the fans that pay their hard-earned money to come to the shows. It's the fans that sit there and they come to you know, to the meet and greets and the autograph signings and everything. And you know, they purchase our merchandise, and you know, they share their thoughts and their feelings with us and everything. So I just feel that everyone in this business and every place I've been in this business is absolutely phenomenal.
Awesome. Greatly said. And I definitely know we got some more comments coming in, but I also want to know, Parrish, I want you to give a little background about how the influence came onto your career here from our guest. I want to learn more about this story for sure.
Yeah, and I say this because I've been wrestling at this point for a few years, and a common friend that we all know, Vincent Bada, created the Canadian National Wrestling Alliance, and he decided to have a show in Calgary, which was called X Fest, and then one in Edmonton called Sonic Boom. Mm-hmm. And I was on kind of the fringe, right, to be booked on these shows. So he gave me an opportunity, and it was against you, Dan. And he, I think, wanted to see kind of what kind of performer I was, in the sense of testing me and seeing if I got bothered by not wrestling somebody, you know, my size, which I didn't. I thought it was cool. I thought it was awesome. I like challenges. However, I knew the importance of this match. I knew I didn't want to be portrayed as a comedic wrestler. I wanted to be taken seriously. I wanted to be a major player for this company and for Vince. I didn't want to be a side act. So I remember asking you if you wanted this to have a regular match, because I had a thought process of like, oh, it'd be really cool, funny and awesome if you just beat the living piss out of me. But one of the greatest things that came out of that match, which was still amazing because I got in my very first fan interaction. That was great. That was during your rap in Edmonton, short sleeve. But it also gave me confidence in myself. And I think a true professional realizes when that moment is and understands when things change. It's like that understanding that event that transformed you from just a child to an adult. You remember that, and then you are able to take that in. And I got that not only through working with you, Dan, but then later working with Johnny Devine. So I always credit you two as huge influencers with me for that, because without that match, which I thought killed, I thought we absolutely stole the show. I still have a photo of it on my phone where I'm still in the ring. You're on the top turnbuckle there, and holding that title. And and I believe that was with for Hulk's the company you wrestled for, Hulk Hogan.
Yes, it was
the micro wrestling, I believe.
Yep, micro championship wrestling. Yep.
Yeah. So no, and I know I've had this conversation with you before in Cauliflower Alley. Yes, I remember that stuff, despite how much I do drink. So no, that's just my perspective of how much that meant to me, because I had a lot of fun. I felt very challenged as a performer, and I thought it was amazing. But just from your aspect, what did you think about it? Because I probably as green as grass.
Here's the thing, seriously. For me personally, it doesn't matter. If wrestling with me is your first match, or if it's your 10,000th match. What matters to me is that you have two guys that come together to perform and entertain the fans. Okay, and you did that. It's like, I remember when, we started to talk about what we were going to do. You said, what do you want me? What do you want to do? What do you want me to do? How do you want me to react and everything? And I really appreciate that, because of the fact that there's been experiences that I've had in the business where I've had people that were supposed to work with me that basically didn't want to work with me. Because they felt that it was a smack on their pride. They got butthurt, like we used the word earlier, and all. And you know what? Well, it's your loss. But then we have somebody like you who came in as a pure professional. And regardless of your experience, regardless of how good or how bad you were, it was like we sat together. We put together a great match, and then we executed it in the middle of the ring to perfection. And I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And I can't thank you enough for that opportunity as well.
No, likewise. And I think that what I thought too was even better that came out of it is that was 2013. That was 10 years ago, and we're still here talking. We have formed a relationship.
Yes,
as you said earlier, both professional and personal, and that's what's amazing about it, too. And there's like, oh man, I remember going to some of your shows, the midget
wrestling warriors.
Yeah, I'm gonna always mess that up.
It's all good.
But man, I was like, because Bambi Hall, like one of our close mutual friends, was always the referee every time you came in. And it's actually funny because I do have a championship that here, the CNWA provincial one. You can't see it because I do have the green screen on that I remember you.
But it's behind the red curtain right behind you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's behind the red graphic and everything.
Yeah. And I remember you using that as a part of it, but it was also great that like I was able to be someone that you were just able to message, like, hey, do you have a title? Like, I was so proud the fact that like, you know, we had formed that relationship. So that's something that really just holds a special place with me. And now that I've kind of my time's passed, like I just look very fondly at that because also we had a crowd, man. We had a huge ass crowd in Calgary, and we got to see Lincoln Park for free after.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Those two shows were absolutely phenomenal, and everything. And you know, again, you were a pure professional, and I definitely appreciate everything that we did in the ring. You know, you had literally two warriors, two wrestling warriors, basically just battling it out, and you know, we were able to execute that to perfection and to show the fans, you know, a phenomenal match, and they got behind it, which we wanted. And you know, it was definitely a classic today.
Yeah. Well, even if we have Brian Carter coming out and says, Parrish, have you ever considered coming out of retirement? The words of encouragement could Sampson offer. It's been like 6 months, dude. Give me time. I'm having a baby. Give me some room to breathe, man.
He's trying to wind you up, get you back in there.
I know. It's very cool to see how many people actually care about me coming back. That's very appreciative. But
questions from Ed there too.
Yeah, I'm about to get to that because it's definitely something I wanted to ask. Ed's coming in saying, what has been like working as an extra for WWE? And then coming in, so sorry if this has been answered, but what is the greatest midget / mini wrestler / little person, whatever people want to say of all time?
All right, Ed. So working as, you know, I don't necessarily want to say extra work, but because all of my segments that I did with WWE, when before that WWF, I was actually on television. So I mean, I figured the extra stuff is more like security or bodyguards or things like that. You know, but in that it was phenomenal. It was I appreciated the fact that every time I got brought into the Fed, I was used for different things, but I was able to showcase the versatility that I had and be able to meet up to whatever challenge was presented before me. You know, it's like whether I did, you know, mini Undertaker, mini Kurt Angle, Spirit Squad, you know, God, so many different things. I was able to portray a different character that was completely had a different persona inside the ring. And, you know, I would try to do it to the best of my ability. And I think I pulled it off well. But then at the same time, I also got to wrestle, you know, as Short Sleeve Sampson for them a few times, whether it was the juniors division or, you know, I mean, heck, I managed Scotty Too Hotty and Albert in very, very early on and everything like that. So, but with that, everything was a learning experience. And, you know, and I treated it that way. And I would sit back and I would be really, really quiet. And I would just watch and observe. And I would watch, you know, how basically different wrestlers would talk about their match and what they would do, you know, in the ring that night. And I would watch, you know, the story writers and everything and how they would formulate these ideas that they had and put them into real life action, which we would then portray out and everything. So it was phenomenal. It really, really was, ultimately.
Yeah. And could you consider to be the greatest of all time? That was the second question.
I'll let the fans decide that.
I mean, I know my answer. It's we have one
sitting right here with us.
Here's the thing. Seriously, to sit there and to be the greatest, I figure that's really big shoes to fill. You know, whether they fit me or not, no clue. Again, I figured the fans can decide that. But in doing that, basically, I think it's who's the most memorable. Who do you remember the most? Who did you see, you know, wrestling that had the best matches? Who was more versatile in how they would wrestle and who they would wrestle. Would they only wrestle people their own size, or would they wrestle anybody? I personally have always been an open challenge book where I have been willing to wrestle anybody, and put on a phenomenal match and phenomenal entertainment value for the fans. So again, I'll let the fans decide that.
Yeah. You're talking about what the fans remember. I know one of the things I always go back and watch, simply, well, one, because you were on it, but two, is also just an amazing scene. Was the scene, as you mentioned, with the work with The Undertaker, as you were Mini Taker. And just the fact you're there sitting, or you're in the ring, you're doing the Undertaker pose with him. You guys have that moment where you look at each other and you can tell, you 100% can tell that you are trying so hard not to break character. And you're probably wondering, is he going to break character? Because it's the Undertaker. Probably one of the greatest of all time. He then choke slams you, and it might have been one of the most hilarious segments that did absolutely nothing to tarnish Undertaker, but did everything to help you out as well. What do you think of, what did you come out of that one? Because I don't know about you, but that's my favorite segment of you. But then also, let's dovetail to what I think a lot of people want to know. You were commentating for the WLC matches, Jerry Smaller, I believe.
Yep.
And that match was an absolute fantastic match. So just pigtail from working with The Undertaker to being part of probably one of the best televised midget/little people matches that the WWE has ever put on.
Yeah. So The Undertaker, I mean, honestly, it was a great segment for me to be a part of as well, because the fact that I got a chance to work with Taker and JBL and Orlando Jordan, who all had different roles in the match and everything. And I remember, going to the arena that day and going in the ring, and basically, I'm with the story writer and, with JBL and Undertaker and et cetera, and just piecing it all together, and everything. And it really, again, and I feel like I'm using this answer for a lot of things, but it really was a memorable moment because of the fact that, it's like I got a chance to work with some of the top wrestlers, that's in this business and in this industry today. And obviously Undertaker is already retired and JBL has, retired and everything like that. But to be able to have that moment was absolutely phenomenal. And, it's like, did everything to perfection as it was described to me and how I portrayed it out and everything. And then, the whole thing ended with, I'm freaking 8 feet up in the air, getting choke slammed by a Taker and everything. It was good. It was really, really good, but then to segue into, the WLC match for Extreme Rules. And I definitely portrayed Jerry Smaller. That was a phenomenal moment in time because the fact that first, I was contacted by the WWE and asked if I wanted to be a part of it. Yes, great. And then basically, all of the small wrestlers and actors and everything that was part of that segment, with the exception of Hornswoggle and Torito, I booked to be a part of it, and I appreciated the fact that they gave me that liberty and that freedom and trusted me to be able to pull all that off. I mean, even the ring announcer and the referee and everything. I mean, I booked all of them to be a part of it. So, as we were, putting everything together and planning everything and, what people were going to say and what we weren't going to say. And I remember in the afternoon asking someone, how do we know if when we're commentating, if we've gone too far, if we've done something you don't want us to do, if we said something you don't want us to say? And they said, if you do that, we'll just shut off your mic. And they didn't shut us off. We actually, went the whole entire match and everything. And, obviously, again, Torito and Hornswoggle did great in the ring. And, the other wrestlers that were part of the match did phenomenal and everything. But, yeah, it really was a memorable time.
Do you find that they gave you like a pretty blank like slate? Like you were almost given the freedom to do whatever you guys wanted? Like, do you feel like you had that freedom, or do you feel like you were restricted at all, or is that more like internal?
With that match, we had freedom. We had a lot of freedom, because they had bullet points that they wanted us to hit. Like they wanted us to, talk about the WWE Network. That was actually just starting around that time, or it just started around that time. They wanted us to talk about, I think, like 2 or 3 other things that they wanted us to make references to. But then after that, they gave us the freedom to do whatever and to say whatever we wanted to say. And me, personally, I've actually never commentated a match. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to freaking run with this thing. I'm grabbing the freaking bull by the horns, and I'm not talking about Torito, and I'm going to run with it and see where it goes. And, and it went very, very well, I felt. And, so ultimately, go back. Yeah, they gave me a lot of freedom, which again, I appreciated.
Yeah. We do have one comment in the chat, or one question, sorry, in the chat. It says, what are your thoughts on Microman?
You know what? We just friend requested everybody, I think, just last week. And I've seen a couple of his matches that he's been in. I would be interested in talking with him at some point.
And then Ed coming in saying We'll See is on all-time classic. And I actually, it's a little bit more of a backstory behind it. I thought it was so influential, given the platform WWE had. As you said, the network was just coming out. Now you're seeing amazing amount of talent that are considered to be in the wrestling world midget. And I just thought it was absolutely different. It was something that you're not seeing anywhere else. And I thought it was just an amazing thing. Bobby, I'm going to turn it to you for the next question.
Oh, actually, 1 second before we do that.
Yeah.
I just want to, elaborate a little bit on that. Here's the thing with that match. It was a phenomenal match from start to finish.
Yeah.
And they didn't put it on the show.
I know.
They didn't put it on the pay-per-view. It was actually the dark match, the match that happened for the fans in the arena, but was not on the pay-per-view. And I'll tell you, that match could have been a freaking main event match because the fact that it was that good, So yeah, I mean, that's my feeling of it as well.
Yeah, and it's still the show, if you ask me. Still the show.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though, too. It had its comedy aspects, but it wasn't comedy. It was wrestling, and everything. I mean, heck, even, Hornswoggle and Torito going through our table and, the different elements in it. And, the tag teams that were working with, Torito and Hornswoggle getting involved in it and everything like that. It was absolutely a phenomenal match from start to finish.
Yeah. Now, the only other question I would have, you mentioned about the different personas that you've been able to portray. Has that aspect of your life taken you to other avenues outside of professional wrestling, whether it be television spots, opportunities within film as well, too? Have you had to take that acting side of things over to that other media?
Yeah, I have done different acting things. I've done some commercials for the teddy bear snack cakes, and I've done commercials for the Five Below department store here in the States and everything. I've also done some independent movies and some TV shows. So no, I've definitely done some stuff outside of wrestling that has enhanced my career as well.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I know we're getting short on time, so I'm gonna turn that back over to you, Chris.
What?
Oh, Bobby.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll just take myself out now.
No, and Bobby, all right. I know we have a few minutes left, and I want to just be able to take this time to just publicly acknowledge how much we appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, in the future, we can maybe do a sequel to this one.
Definitely, yeah.
But let's give you the floor on promoting not only what you have coming up, but where people can find you, but more about the Midget Wrestling Warriors.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, just going back to just really quick, back in 2013, I basically had announced I was going to be retiring from wrestling. Okay. And in doing that, it was because of the fact that I had done everything in the business that I felt I could do and that I could accomplish. And I wanted to, show my appreciation by doing a big 40-city tour and thanking everybody, the fans and the promoters for supporting me. And so that was going to be 2013 into 2014. And then towards the end of that tour, basically the opportunity came about where, I would try to promote. And so thus I took it on, and the Midget Wrestling Warriors were born. And in doing that, I had basically, made a lot of contacts with different wrestlers and all throughout the business, and contacted them and asked them if they wanted to be a part of it. And the Midget Wrestling Warriors, basically, it took off, and then all the way to what it is today. And today we have a phenomenal talent roster, a phenomenal show, where basically everyone is, under the 5'2" mark, as far as wrestlers. And, Rob the Giant, Demas, Astrolux, Danica Della Rouge, Zoe Sky, Valentina Loca, JC Storm, just to name a few, who are absolutely phenomenal and are, basically taking everything that they've learned and their experience in the business and bringing it to the fans as well. And if you ever have a chance to come see a Midget Wrestling Warrior show, please do. You can check out our website, which is midgetwarriors.com. And then we also have, we're also on social media on Facebook and Instagram. It's Midget Wrestling Warriors. You can, like us and follow us. And on Twitter, it's at Warrior Midgets. Please definitely like us and follow us and everything. And then also I have my own social media as well, which on Facebook and Instagram, it's Short Sleeve Sampson. And on Twitter, it's at AWE Sampson. So, again, and I run these platforms. So if somebody wants to send a message, send a comment, send a like, send hate mail, whatever you want to do, I receive it. So, and I respond to them as well.
Yeah. And also just to give people a shout out that you guys are in the midst of your No Retreat, No Surrender World Tour. That I believe is later in the month of June and July. So if check out their website, check out, see if they're in the city near you. Go check them out. One of the best shows, start to finish, I've ever been to. And that is not bullshitting. It is a lot of fun, and it is very enjoyable. And you are going to be surprised, because I don't think you're going to walk in with the expectation of how good this show is. And you shouldn't have low expectations.
I'll send you a check afterwards, Chris, for the plug.
Thank you. Gotta pay the bills. My toilet almost broke before this. I might actually need that. But no, once again, we just want to say thank you for coming on. We definitely appreciate it. Always a chance just to shoot the breeze with you is always, I'm going to always find time in my schedule for that. So again, thank you. And hopefully we'll see you back.
Sounds great, man. Sounds great. I'd love to be back. Yeah, let's definitely do another segment of this at some point. And again, Chris, Bobby, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you both. And definitely, you guys are doing a great thing here on this show, and keep doing what you're doing. Seriously.
Awesome. Thank you, and take care. We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. Sounds good. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. That was that was a wonderful time.
Yeah, we had a comment from Ed, which was very weird. Well, I mean, other than hopefully WWE.
That's a good one.
No, but Ed, you said Sampson versus Alex Kane for the MLW.
First, but
he does, and I just feel that's something
we should ask him.
Yeah, but do we have a spot? Oh, you know what?
Breaking news. Somebody reported.
Brian Carter's worried now because he's coming to the show.
We told you we were going to reschedule people. Next week we will get the number one contender to the MLW Championship. In our minds, the soon to be crowned MLW champion Alex Kane, leader of the Boomaye Fight Club, is going to join us on Busting Out next Sunday. So, Ed, your Sampson versus Alex Kane MLW title match could possibly happen if Alex Kane is successful against Alex Hammerstone. It was.
As soon as that message popped up right in the private chat, Parrish, like, hold off on that one. We got planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, Eureka. Yeah. So, that was our interview with Short Sleeve Sampson. By no means are we finished. We keep this thing going.
Keep her rolling.
So,
roll.
But I think before we kind of get settled into kind of the next part, why don't we just showcase to everyone what we do have coming up this week here at OLE?
What do you got there? A calendar or something? All sorts of awesome stuff from so many different great creators here on OLE. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait to see it. And we see, Papa Smokes is my sport animal. There we go. And also Paramindful. Can't wait. Yeah, it's fantastic show. Lots of great things going on here all the time at our local establishment. And we encourage anybody who's stopping by for the very first time watching the replay on the YouTube side of things, hey, continue that growth with us and give us a subscribe, thumbs up. They're cool. We like seeing that. But also comments, not just in the live audience, but if you see content from the creators of our local establishment on the YouTube side, leave us a comment in the comment section, and we will do everything we can to get back to you and engage and talk to you guys, because that's what we're all about. We're about engaging with our audience.
Yeah, and right now we're sitting at a beautiful 210 followers on the Twitch and 134 subscribers on the YouTube. But let's not get settled. Let's not think that's okay. Let's look at that as a benchmark to what we become. Let's try to up that. Let's try to get to that 200 subscriber. Let's try to get to that 300 follower. And let's try to tell a friend, to tell an even more friend what we have going on here at OLE. Not to mention, the more people you can get a Rogue Energy, the more money that you can save yourself, but also help us make so we can provide better content for you as well. It all goes hand in hand. We're just a family around here.
True.
But Yeah, no, Bobby, I know as the chat's kind of, recuperating from, what they saw with the interview with Short Sleeve, we did have a week in professional wrestling. We did see another new championship that I know you just love.
I knew you were going to start this with me.
So, I mean, you know what? We got to get it out. I'm also going to just put this out that I actually don't hate it. But
if you hated it, you would have had to hate the previous one and the previous one and the previous one to that, because they're all the fucking same. It's the same fucking title it is every single time. They just change the color of the strap and the plating a little bit and go, holy shit, it's new. We just put a... Just don't even get me started on this shit.
I know what you mean. Like, we all kind of clamor for that different look and different, looking championship. But I think we've got to really look back on, at least WWE is taking this time to actually separate the Raw and SmackDown. And what we're seeing now on the championship no longer say Raw or SmackDown. With rumors saying that there's going to be a new unified tag title coming out pretty soon, with WWE unifying both female sets of tag titles. And the rumor is it could be happening to the men's side as well. At least there's some simplicity going on with the titles in WWE. You know what? That's an unfair statement, because I love all my WWE titles equally.
I'm glad you went that direction. I wouldn't want to guess in any trouble here.
Yeah, and to have more fun with debates like this, go check out us on Discord, and there's our link where you can go and join if you like, and you could discuss with everyone within OLE just how much you appreciate the different sizes of WWE titles there are as well. But yeah, I mean, it is becoming fun to make fun of the fact that they keep just bringing out the same title again and again and again. However, you also have to look at that image is starting to become a little iconic to the brand as well. Despite the fact we like it or not, it is becoming an iconic logo to the brand. But at the same time, it comes with a interesting little caveat, as we did see Asuka receive her new Women's Undisputed Championship, which, yes, people, it's going to mirror the men's. This is what happened. One of the stupidest things I saw on Twitter this week was saying something around the whole, why does WWE have to do the same thing with the women as they do with the men's? And I was like, have you been living under a rock? This is exactly what you get when you clamor online about equality. And if the men have something, the women should have it. Well, this time you actually do have that. What Roman Reigns has, Asuka has the exact same of. Yeah. She has the exact same title. It's just, she's the female version of this champion, while Roman Reigns is the male version of the champion.
So by that definition, are we going to get a female version of the other championship?
Yes, we are. There is going to be a championship that resembles Seth freaking Rollins with a white strap, and that's going to be presented to Rhea Ripley. That is going to be a thing. And they are going to separate the two champions on each show while having tag champions for both men and women go back and forth.
See, on the plus side to that, at least that title, my gripe with it wasn't so much the look, was just with the whole introducing a new world championship and all the, you've heard the story, you've heard me rant about it.
Have we?
But yeah, of course we have. But my gripe was never with the look of the belt itself. The look of the belt is not an issue. So the fact that it's really keeping the lineage of and history of the championship that Rhea currently holds and using that design, I'm not as upset about that. Yeah. Because it's fresh. It is, I know it's not 100% fresh but it's different. Where the other one, it's like, I just feel like if they wanted to cement the fact that this is different, this is WWE done differently with Triple H in charge and all this new stuff, that they really should have rethought the design slightly on all these belts and not just really made a different color or a different shade of the existing product, because then it just reeks of being the same thing they did before when they divided, having the red title and the blue title. That became the issue, as opposed to just having a little bit of a redesign. And Seth's belt looks nice. It's just the lineage that bothered me. So Rhea getting one that looks like that, I'm okay with that side of it. You won't hear me ranting on that side.
Yeah, there's actually 3 things that I'm very curious about. One is the fact that now the WWE Championship is retired, and that just feels weird to me. I'm still going to take the time to kind of like allow this to be just a breathe and kind of like let it be a thing. But it just feels weird that I can watch WWE and somebody's like, well, who's the WWE champion? No one. Because we have an undisputed champion and we have a world heavyweight champion. We have no WWE champion, which just seems very weird to me. But it'll take something to get used to. And 2, I'm now in comparison. I think a lot of people will say, well, the world heavyweight title now looks a lot better compared to the other one. But also, the one thing I now do respect about the world heavyweight championship is that there is a meaning to the design that at least gets you, or at least it got me intrigued by it. So when you have like the history lesson, there's 3 lines on the title to showcase the 3 figureheads of WWE through their history, and then something to represent the ropes as well. And then you had, just aspects that paid homage to previous championships I thought were really cool. To me, there just isn't anything like that with the undisputed title, and I thought that was where they actually missed the boat. Not the fact that it was the same design, but the fact that they lacked history with the design. Because if they added that, at least you can get maybe some people saying, oh, okay, that's not too bad, I guess. And then the third thing, I just don't understand why. I understand why the word undisputed is in the men's, because you're kind of combining the 2 championships. I don't know why it's in the women's.
Because they got to do the same.
Yeah.
Like you said it yourself, right?
But to me, like, an undisputed means that you're merging couple together, right?
No,
like,
I get the meaning. It's kind of like issuing an open challenge and then naming your opponent.
That's why I can understand like the tag champions being the undisputed men's tag team champions, undisputed women's tag team champions. I'm just very confused on how that fits the Asuka one. And I'm well aware. I'm like, they're doing the same thing. To me, it's just, all right, that was a miss because it doesn't make sense in this specific situation. Yeah, but it says undisputed on the fucking thing, Ed. It says it on the fucking thing.
They didn't
got me to curse.
It honestly, they probably just couldn't afford at the moment to get a totally different mold made, so they just remade the same. They just made what,
1.9 or 2.9 billion dollars. They can't afford.
No, that money's all tied up in jet black hair dye right now.
Jet black hair dye? For who?
Vince. He's got the mustache and the hair. I mean, he's going to be, honestly, that guy's going to be dyeing that shit like 3 times a day, because there's no way that a guy his age is keeping it that black constantly.
How funny would it be if he actually just decided to grow a mustache, just shaves it down, but it just comes jet black? Like, there's no gray, it's just jet black.
The dye has gone into his skin so deep that everything that grows afterwards continues to come up black.
That'd be hilarious if that's just how it grew. Like, you would have the worst playoff beard out of anyone, but it's Vince McMahon. So it still is going to look like good shit, damn it. But yeah, As the voice Joshua Joseph did say, we did see the return of Charlotte. And this is another thing I thought I loved. People like, why is this matchup Money in the Bank and whatnot? Easy. They want to make all the shows feel special in London because, as we found out, Charlotte and Asuka is set for the Friday in London. And along with the women's unified tag title match between Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Ronda Rousey, and Shayna Baszler, as they made that official on SmackDown. I actually like it. I like the fact that this is not incorporated on the PLE because maybe they're simplifying the match count on the actual PLE at Money in the Bank, and we get to see a really good show there. It's easy to convolute when you have this much talent. And just think of how much of a banger after a banger these shows in London are going to feel when you have nothing but like matches you actually want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious because I mean those are two up there quality matchups that you could put on a PLE and go with it in that direction. We'll see how the rest of the card unfolds and how big that the actual PLE card ends up becoming to, force their hand to go this direction. And yeah, the talent's there, the interest is there and everything like that. So we'll play the waiting game and find out. But again, like those matchups being booked for the Friday, of course they want to fill the arenas both nights. That's the intent. They want to give them something special for the entire weekend experience as opposed to just a one-off. I mean, they're making the travel, you might as well make it count, right?
Yeah. And Joshua Joseph coming in, Bellara was tweeting how pissed she is. Look for something to happen. Yeah, and I think this is a great way of maybe indicating that she might actually turn heel. This could be a foreshadow. Or she might get an edge, which is what she's really needed for a while. She's got to get this whole, look at my hair. I'm an EST. I'm just having fun. Oh shit, earrings off, time to fight.
Yeah, but
we need to see like.
But tell me that didn't happen with Bailey at the same time too. Like
people
100%.
got
it got so generic about how she was coming out there to the point where it wasn't
Bianca,
that the talent wasn't there; it was she was missing something. And when they
Bianca Belair's debut on the big stage there during the pandemic era, ironically enough, her husband is getting beaten down, and she still feels the need to twirl, spinning her hair, and have fun instead of running down to save hubby.
Yeah, but that's lost on all professional wrestling these days, though, and you've got to notice that it's not just it's WWE, AEW. It's like this mentality of you have to get the entrance in there instead of the realistic thought that they're coming to save something. It's no different from Jeff Hardy showing up on AEW. Matt's getting a 5-on-1 beatdown, and he's coming out. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be dancing.
That's okay. Jeff's on drugs. Bianca's not.
The whole world's on drugs when they're dancing to a beatdown.
I mean, I'm not wrong though.
Well, this show's gone off the rails.
That's a short. But yeah, no, I mean, I think maybe as we kind of see though, Street Profits are looking like they're probably in tune for a character change as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see this trio go to that, go to the dark side, go evil, brother.
Sounds like a lot of people are getting a little bit of a revamp lately over in the WWE.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean it's not bad. I mean, hell, I do the watch-alongs every Monday with my good old friend, the gold standard, Cara Carafel, with OMD, Chris Best, and Bubba Duke at times. And man, those 3 hours fly by now, especially when I'm only there for an hour and a half.
It would be. It would be also good to mention, seeing as we're on the show right now, and we like to do little bits of plugs and stuff like that, is that I believe Carl mentioned that he has found himself a host to join him, a co-host on Turnbuckle Talk on Tuesday nights in the form of Chris Best, who's going to be joining as a regular. OMD is still going to be hopping on when he's able to on Tuesday nights there with Carl, but really cool news that Chris Best is going to become the new regular co-host there with our good friend Carl Carafel on Tuesday nights. I also want to mention this real quick. Again, speaking of friends of ours and people on the channel, Astrid Pizarro, she's got her big convention coming up, Miami Beach Convention Center. You want to be able to go on there. It's from 3:45 p.m. Eastern time to 4:45 p.m. All the information's right there. It's Florida SuperCon. It's behind the magic. Women of Color. Yeah, it's a wrestling panel, and that is on Friday, June the 30th. So make sure to check that out and follow Astrid on all she does. I just absolutely just astonished by the amazing work and awesome accomplishments of all of our good friends here on the channel, and just a big shout out to everybody here.
Yeah, and also big shout out to Bowser who made his OLE debut.
Yeah, wasn't that something? Just swish with that basketball.
It's great seeing a lot of that. Also give a shout out to the voice, Joshua Joseph. He has his stuff going on in your house, stuff there as well. I believe you do a SmackDown watch long every Friday. So yeah, go check that out. Ed, absolutely killing it on his Twitch as well. Just became Twitch affiliate.
Yeah.
So thanks to everyone who is helping him out, because he does such a great thing to help us out. So we're happy he got there. You can see him later tonight, actually streaming on his Twitch. I don't know if, what he's playing necessarily yet. I did not pay attention to the wording. I know WWE was in there, and I just voted that because I was like, yeah, let's do another wrestle draft, because I just like playing the game. Plus, I'm actually getting closer to him now.
Giving a little run for the money.
Marvel Snap won the poll.
Oh. He'll switch it up when the fans want him to.
But it is his first Twitch-affiliated stream, so go check him out there. Awesome. Ed Fries 2002 right there on his Twitch. So, Ed, let us know what time that is going to be at. But, anything catching your eye this week of professional wrestling, as Ed is coming in with saying at 10 p.m. Eastern?
This week in professional wrestling, nothing too crazy. It's been great. Trying to pay for my Buff Bagwell interview. If anyone wants to help, if you can help out, Josh trying to land an interview with Buff Bagwell, but it costs. So help out if you're able to, and supporting that as well too. Reach out to Josh. But this week, again, really the only focus I had outside of checking out a couple of the things that I saw from the big companies. Definitely saw MLW announce a couple more things. Never Say Never. I know that Timothy Thatcher and I slipped the name. I'm going to have to look it up, but he's going to be at MLW Never Say Never. He's got a big matchup coming up. I'm just going to...
Are you saying you're doing a watch along for an MLW show coming up?
You bet. That's going to be Saturday, July the 8th. And it's Hot Sauce Tracy Williams that Thatcher is going to be fighting there, and Never Say Never. So again, that's now that they're going to be in a live aspect for MLW shows, it means that Thursday nights, once that gets to that point, will be focused on Ring Respect Radio, as the fusion tapings will be happening at these shows. So they were going to be live watch-alongs, myself, Papa Smokes, maybe a panel of friends that are joining in for the fun. It's going to be drinks, relax time, talk MLW, watch the show, have a good time. They've got Thatcher and Tracy Williams taking on in a match there. They've got all sorts of great stuff. The Samoan SWAT team going to be defending the tag titles against the Calling, with that big main event of Alex Kane and Hammerstone for the MLW Championship. I'm sure the other titles are going to get announced soon, as this week on Fusion on Thursday night, they've, of course, got Delmi Exo and Taya Valkyrie going for the MLW Featherweight Championship, and that'll kind of let the fans know who's the champion going into Never Say Never, as well as the Middleweight Championship on the line this week in a triple threat. It's going to be Lindsay Dorado defending against Leo Rush and Akira. So, again, that'll decide who's the champion there and what we might see at the premium live event pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view. I guess it's a...
Only WWE does PLEs. Everywhere else is a pay-per-view. That's how
But again, you're not really paying an individual price for Never Say Never either, though. So it's the same kind of idea of it being on a network with Fight TV Plus. So it kind of lands in that not quite a pay-per-view, but it kind of is sort of deal. So it
does land on the you must watch this category.
Oh yeah, of course you must watch.
And that's the only one that matters.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's the only one that matters.
And you got to dual screen it though, because you got to have one screen dedicated to Never Say Never and another one dedicated to All Elite, so you can do the watch along with us.
I mean, that just goes without saying,
Well,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
it's like Monday nights. I expect people to do the same for the Raw watch.
Yeah, I don't, because I'm usually getting wasted. But that's beside the point. But yeah, no, it's actually funny, Josh. You said that you wanted to pay for a Buff Bagwell interview. Did you know I actually once did a show with Buff Bagwell?
Ooh, interesting.
In fact, Buff Bagwell was actually a reason why I actually got a date with my now wife. That's a completely different story for a different time. But yeah, so yeah, no, I mean, you gotta like what's happening in professional wrestling, whatever the one you do follow. Just announced Stokely Hathaway and Jerry Lynn have been appointed to the Ring of Honor board of directors. Nice. That was something that was put out. I'm also just going to say this: Tony Khan really needs to stop talking in front of people. He is really bad at it, to be quite honest. He looks so confused every time he has a microphone in front of him, and it's just very hard to watch. Just pay someone to be that spokesperson, please.
You know who's not confused on the microphone, though, is Adam Cole, and I called it. I said they were going to lead to an Adam Cole MJF matchup, and that's exactly the direction the company seems to be going after this week is Adam Cole got in the face of MJF, and I figured that was the no-brainer next move for the company. I figured that was a highlight that they wanted to go with.
I don't have his number. I just said that I just did a show with him. This is like pre his really like strong relationships with them Trouts. This is like after him getting booted out of Raw thing. But again, another story for another time. But yeah, no, going back to Adam Cole MJF, it was actually fun to watch because we did see a duplication of the Adam Cole promo against Karrion Kross in NXT done by MJF onto Adam Cole this time around, which then allowed Adam Cole to respond in tow with a beautiful promo that kind of made him look like the boss. But absolutely great. If you thought you enjoyed MJF and CM Punk on the microphone, you're going to get pretty excited seeing Adam Cole join in with MJF.
See, and that's just it. Like when MJF first came in, I thought a lot of things were done to overshadow his debut in AEW. I thought a lot was done to kind of like hold him back from where he needed to be with the company. This is where he needs to be with the company. Mm-hmm. This right here, exactly what he's doing with MJF. Whether he walks out of this with the championship or not, and personally, I don't think he needs to or will, kind of thing. I don't think it's the right time to, take it off of MJF is the only case there. But I also think this is the right move for the company because this is two great workers, two great mic workers. This is going to be a great match. This sells a card.
I have a feeling, and you might actually like this because I know it reminisces back to the MLW history, but I can see Richard Holiday making an appearance and helping MJF retain the title kind of as a throwback to where they were prior to AEW. And that way you can then come back with a potential Roderick Strong, Adam Cole versus Richard Holiday MJF match.
In all honesty, I would be happy to see the dynasty reformed in AEW anyway. Like, and people think that Hammerstone's not, completely out of the picture. Like, no, not necessarily. Again, he's got that title match coming up on July 8th. I know that he hasn't, no reports saying he's re-signed anything up with MLW. I'm not sure how much longer he's got left on that contract or anything like that with them. But again, nothing that if AEW wanted to pull that trigger on, they couldn't afford in buying him out of it or whatever it took kind of thing. So I know we've seen even just before the last AEW pay-per-view, Hammerstone posting a picture of himself with MJF and Holiday with no context to it as well too. So the rumor mill is always going to be a light. Like that's the thing. And that's all it is. It's speculation. It's rumor. Would it be great? Yeah, of course it would be. Is it true? I don't know. Richard Holiday is, of course, a free agent, so very possible over there. And then Hammerstone, you got to imagine that the bigger companies are salivating at the opportunity to sign him with what he's accomplished, the look that he has, the in-ring ability that he has. Hammerstone's kind of the whole package when it comes to a professional wrestler on the scene right now.
Yeah, and who's to say if by chance this whole summer or of 2024 thing is a real thing and not just a fancy storyline with MJF, and he is in fact a free agent, who's to say this is an AEW faction? Who's to say? Because as we all know, WWE has been linked to Richard Holiday as well in negotiated. So the reports and sources are saying. And I would be a fool to believe that they don't have any interest on one Mr. Hammerstone if that guy becomes available. As you said, complete package. Would not believe in a second that WWE does not want him on their roster.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. When I say complete package, too,
imagine him versus Gunther. Dear Lord.
Yeah, and then people forget, I say complete package about someone like Hammerstone. It's not just the look, but he can wrestle. He's a good talker as well too. You sometimes forget it, and then he gets on the mic, and he's solid on there. But don't write off Richard Holiday again. I think Richard Holiday has got everything it takes to be a great professional as well too. He's got a really good look. He talks well on a microphone. His in-ring is excellent as well, too. Both these guys are a good get for any company, and they only have to look over to the success of MJF in AEW to realize that whole grouping of three guys were paired together for a solid reason. It's because they were all going to be the future of professional wrestling.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty much all the way. I'm just going to point this out. Just got a message from our guest thanking us for being on. Really liked our product. Almost guarantee you the people, without an actual date being confirmed yet, Short Sleeve Sampson will be back on Busting Out. It's just a matter of time. We're in those conversations. But yeah. But also, yeah. Going back to the Richard Holiday thing, it's going to be fun. I think that guy is the missing piece right now for a lot. I think a lot of people are looking at the MJF and the Hammerstone simply because they are the world champions of their respective brands, but almost Richard Holiday gets lost in the shuffle because he is not a champion. He is not the main guy. In fact, he might be that piece of the puzzle that would fit. You look at Kyle O'Reilly and how integral he was to the Undisputed Era at times. There is no reason to think Richard Holiday isn't that breakout star as well. That just needs that right opportunity, right platform. And it would be really fun to see him flourish on his own as well. So, I mean, perhaps it was just three friends saying, hey, look, remember what we had? But also, man, just imagine what it would be if Richard Holiday went to, say, WWE, became maybe NXT champion, while MJF is AEW champion, Hammerstone's MLW champion. Imagine that photo. If they're all together and they're all champions in different brands, that'd be pretty cool as well.
It'd be unique, but I really do. I mean, I strongly believe, and this is nothing against Hammerstone. I just believe that the direction the company's going and the way the build has been happening, that it's inevitable that Alex Hammerstone is going to lose to Alex Kane, and that Alex Kane is going to become the new face of MLW. And that's why I leave it to question about where do you go with the former champions that are still around there. Like Fatu is amazing, but Fatu really has done a lot of what he can accomplish in MLW. Same with Hammerstone. He's done what he can accomplish in MLW. And that's the one thing about MLW. It's always been that company for people to rise, to make that name, and then to move on to the bigger companies. And I feel that both Hammerstone and Fatu on that side of things are going to be looked at very carefully here very soon. Whether it be WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan, one of those companies is going to be interested in looking into these guys. You know, in Holiday, like you talk about NXT, Holiday could be a very good fit for something like a rebranded Ring of Honor card and stuff like that too. I think he'd fit the mold of that very, very nicely. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see the Ring of Honor product kind of come in, as you can tell already that they're kind of shaping up to be different than what they were, although it's going to give you a touch of what they were as well. They do want to reinvent too a little bit, which is pretty cool. We do have, I think, a TV title match. I believe it's Matt Sydal against Samoa Joe coming up next week on the tape for Ring of Honor. So that's going to be interesting. Always happy to see Matt Sydal come in, kind of to stay afloat, because who did not like Evan Bourne? Like, in all honesty, that guy was an absolute treat. Still one half of one of the best RKOs you'll ever see. But also just a great professional wrestler. Also won his first title in WWE in Edmonton on Monday Night Raw. Just so you know. And met his fiance in Edmonton too after they were celebrating.
Nice.
Yeah, found that out. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Barry Monkey asking if Ring of Honor is on TV. As far as I know, it's just Honor Club.
The Honor Club for now.
Yeah, there we go. Ed clearing that up. But
I'm sure in due time you might see something. But that's.
I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay paying for platforms of stuff I really like. Like, honestly,
and that's just the thing. When it's a good product, like it's. I mean, I joined the Impact simply because Astrid asked me to be on the show. It's $1 on YouTube a month. $1, freaking $1, people. That's how cheap it is.
$12 a year.
Yeah. And I've kept it, and I'm not the world's biggest Impact fan, but I do stay on top of it. Which also, congratulations to Alex Shelley becoming the new Impact champion. Oh man, like it was like 20 years ago where he joined up with then TNA. Now he's the Impact champion. Saw a moment between him and Chris Sabin, who won the X Division championship that night. Pretty reminiscent of a certain Eddie Guerrero, Christopher Benoit moment at WrestleMania 20.
Here's the funny part: is you're going to see the shorts coming out soon, but like Ed was all over this on Tuesday night. Like he belongs nowhere near that championship. And then it happened. Just for you, Ed. It's like every single thing you're putting out into the universe is going to happen, bud.
In all honesty, I do look at this as a transitional title reign. I do think the injury to Josh Alexander really stymied their title picture. I believe Macklin was probably scheduled to be his next competitor, probably not scheduled to win the championship. So out of good faith, they put the title on him. This is my opinion, not facts, just my opinion. But I didn't see that title reign really having much substance to it. And now that Alex Shelley's there, it's a real good moment, definitely a feel-good moment. But his first title match is coming up against one Nick Aldis. And I would be shocked if Alex Shelley retains this title against somebody who just came to this company less than 2 months ago, losing.
And brings a status and holds himself well as a champion too. That's
Barry Monkey actually has an interesting point. I think Chris Sabin will cash in his X Division title to challenge Shelley. And then Aldis, a real champion.
I agree. Like Aldis is that classic throwback to how champions used to present themselves.
Yeah.
He holds himself with a certain dignity and class, the suits, everything like that. And it's good to see. It's refreshing in a modern era, definitely.
Yeah, I also think we're just setting up for a Bully Ray versus Nick Aldis feud at some point. Prior to Aldis joining in, Bully Ray was getting physical with Nick Aldis's wife Mickey James before she was hurt. So I think that's just an organic story that just makes sense with those two. So I hope that. I hope I'm right. If I'm right, all that means is something that I occasionally watch. I'm still the man at predicting too. Just like Ed is just the man of making things come true. Now, Ed, Jay White will win what title this year?
Oh, don't you know he's going to line himself up for the AEW World Championship next, just for Ed?
Well, it's also he's going to win the Nun Championship. All right, look for this to happen.
Well, see, you gotta. It's modern day professional wrestling, and everyone gets a belt. even
Yeah.
your favorites. Their
Also,
participation belts. These
Bullet
days.
Club Gold apparently getting a new member soon.
Interesting.
So that's something going on. A lot of speculation. It could be Samoa Joe.
It's coming.
I mean, he's not constipation, Ed. I give a shit.
I really hope one day Ed is sitting front row at a show that Jay White just happens to be on, and he happens to see him, recognize him. Just he's come across the clip at one point or another.
Just gives Ed a giant hug.
Yeah, just
Gives him a Bullet Club Gold shirt.
Yeah. That would be absolutely phenomenal. I would laugh.
And then Barry Monkey coming in. I'll say apart from charisma, wrestling ability, and mic skills, all this has it all. But that's just my view.
Wow.
Oh, we got that. We got some hot takes coming in the chat today.
Jeez. Man, Barry Monkey with his favorite Nick Aldis.
But I mean, it just goes to show we don't know. Sometimes we overlook what other companies are doing because obviously AEW, Ring of Honor, WWE, always on TV, it seems like, but there's always these great places where you can pay a very small fee to watch these great shows. As we talked about the Honor Club, now we're talking about Impact, MLW right there. Amazing product coming out. You said about like who's going to be the next people for MLW. This is the best part. You have no idea where new people are coming in nowadays. They're almost coming up from just out of nowhere now. It seems like this world is producing great professional wrestlers that just need that new opportunity.
Well, I'll give a quick shout out to Paradigm Pro Wrestling in the States, because if you want to find out who's going to be next names on your MLW roster, Paradigm Pro Wrestling, which is a very different style pro wrestling. Sometimes uses a lot more of like the point system, catch as catch can style professional wrestling. A lot of the names in MLW have been plucked directly from their company. Also, PCW Ultra over on the West Coast is another one. Joseph Samael runs over there, and a lot of the same talent have been shared between the two companies at times.
Yeah. Also, I do want to offer a public apology to our crew. I dropped the ball on something today.
Oh, what?
We had a guest, and I did not ask him.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I did not ask him.
Down back. Like,
No.
You didn't get the old Elite Pod Challenge in there.
I did not challenge Short Sleeve to the Ole Pod Challenge, and for that, I apologize, people. But it will happen. Number 2, trust me. I won't drop a deuce on the second installment of talking to Short Sleeve.
No number 2s next time around.
No number 2s.
Parrish has failed the community.
Eh. I mean, to be fair, I was really rattled because my toilet almost broke down right before we went live. And I was like, oh no. So that was fun.
Now you got to run upstairs in case of emergency.
Well, I mean, we just got to get somebody to look at it. I know what the issue is. I just may or may not have the skill set to complete said task, but I'm willing to try. And that could be a horrible mistake, or
Just
I might
pull on the rubber gloves and start digging.
I might be able to finally just change that valve that referred to what kind of handyman I actually am. But yeah, I mean, no, a lot of great things happening in wrestling this week.
Sure did. Yeah.
And
every week.
Yeah,
Pro wrestling. Come on.
and we just got a lot more to come. I don't know if it's official, but I do think Rhea Ripley is scheduled to get that championship quite soon. So that would be very interesting to see. I'm very interested to see how that looks, because it's going to be kind of cool. I'm really interested to see what the new tag titles are going to look like. I'm interested to see the presentation of Alex Shelley's World Championship run. I'm interested to see kind of the developments between Adam Cole and MJF. A lot of good things coming in wrestling that makes me invested. Also, we saw a great match this Monday with Damian Priest becoming the first challenge to Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And Thus, on the day after, we saw Braun Breaker challenge Seth Rollins to a World Championship match at NXT. So we might be in store for that this Tuesday.
Tony Novak gets his first Prairie Pro Wrestling Championship shot this coming Saturday at PPW. I mean, hell, it's all good. It's all good. Just had to get that cheap plug in there.
100%. It's all about plugging.
Bastard. Oh, man. Tony.
I don't think we have to rip Tony. I think Sheik Shabazz would be ripping Tony in half at the upcoming PPW show.
You better watch, Bastard, because you're going to be on the other side of the gate coming this Saturday. So watch out. I mean, Tony, don't underestimate him, man. He can kick your ass. He can kick my ass. He can kick a lot of people's asses. So don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate him. That's a lot of tenacity in that young man. And, Sheik better not underestimate Tony either, because that is what some opponents have done, and they've been on the losing side of their matches against Tony. So watch out.
Do you have anything else you want to cover for today?
Nothing on my side of the fence, though. I think we touched on most of the major things that I could think of anyway.
Okay. I know we're probably going to get set for a raid at some point. I'm going to open it to the chat. If you have anyone specific you think we should raid to, or Bobby, you have anybody you were thinking of?
I'm just going to take a quick gander here and have a look at who's on. Sundays are always tough because, like, a lot of our regular friends aren't always, grinding on a Sunday just like we do here on Bustin' Out. But I'm just taking a look over on the list, or if anyone in the chat has anybody in particular you think that we would be able to give a nice little raid over to, please let us know, because there's a lot of great contributors out there that we want to support. Church of Joshi, is that a channel that we can? Let's find out.
Church of Joshi.
They're online. Yeah, there we go. Let's give them.
There we go.
Yeah.
So before
that's the Book of Bull Nakano going on. Oh, hell yeah, we're giving them a raid if that's the case. Fantastic.
Yeah. But before we do, Bobby, let's wrap this up in the form of where people can find you and what you have coming. Yes, I played that word play to a T.
Perfect. You got the ticker down below. That's where you can find me, of course. Thursday night, myself, Pop Smokes, doing all the MLW coverage and stuff like that on Ring Respect Radio. Back here next Sunday for Busted Out, and it's going boom my A this Sunday as well too. Aside from that, you can catch me regularly streaming gaming every once in a while, doing dog shit at it and having fun at the same time. But how about yourself, Parrish, as I get the raid set up here for us?
Yeah, you can find me at the plethora of things at my Twitter at Chris Parrish, Instagram at Chris.Parrish, my Twitch at The Chris Parrish, YouTube at Chris Parrish. Yes, I'm on Kick, people. Follow me at Chris Parrish, just like we are as well at our local establishment. If you want to follow us there, there's no imminent plans to stream on Kick right now. However, we may, if the demand is there. So go check out our local establishment on Kick as well. As for content coming up, you can find me tomorrow night here for the Monday Night Watch Along with Carl Carafel, with potentially Chris Best, OMD, and or Bubba Duke. You can see me every Sunday with Busting Out alongside with you, Bobby, as next week we bring out the number one contender for the MLW Championship, Alex Kane. Reschedules will be here next Sunday, so come check out that episode 43.
All right.
So, yeah.
Sending the raid out there. Say hello to Church of Joshi for us. Give them the OLE way when you head on over there as well, too, if you're joining us on the YouTube side. In the meantime and in between time, hang tight. We are going to say goodbye. Mm-hmm. We're going to get ourselves ready to enjoy the rest of our day, and we hope that you'll do the exact same thing. Until next Sunday, you know what? We like to say, you've been busted.